Hello, my name is Ravel Gaither and welcome to my channel. So today on my channel, I'm going to be bringing you guys along on a process of me making the best bag that I have made so far. I know I say that about most of my newer designs. I say that it's the best thing, but this is really my best work so far. And I'm gonna bring you guys along to the process from start to finish. I love it so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and show the bag and talk about it. So let's get into it. So this is the bag that I make in this video and she is gorgeous. Like I am so obsessed with this bag design. I honestly cannot believe that I was able to see this in my head and actually make it, and it looks literally like what I saw in my head. So for this bag, I did this really nice dark blue denim. It almost looks black, but it's a really dark blue. And I did this really nice red and burgundy color to contrast it. And I did this really cool 3D curve effect on the flap, and it looks so dope. I love this design. It was like maybe like my second or third time trying to do like a 3D effect on a bag, and this one came out perfect. I also added in some purse feet. I did a really cool riveting design on the front and back for the corner protectors, and the pattern alignment on this is also insane. Like I'm getting so good at making bags, it's crazy. I also did a really cool riveting detail up here, and then I also did this really nice heart flap closure. Now this is my second time trying a heart flap closure, and I feel like I did a really good job for this one. So it's a cool little closure, open it up, all that good stuff. And with this bag, I just decided to keep it at a simple top handle handbag. I think it's really cute this way, so you can hold it by the handle or put it on your arm this way and wear it, and it's just such a statement bag. Like it looks so dope. But yeah, if you do want to stick around and watch me make this bag, please do make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. Make sure you guys also subscribe, and if you are interested in this bag, depending on when you're watching it, it should be available on my website. So it is available for purchase if you do want to buy it, depending on when you're watching this video. And I also do have two patterns available up on my website for a tote bag and a wallet. So if you're interested in making your own bags, you can go ahead and buy the pattern, download it. I have tutorials over here on my channel on how to sew them together, really simple and easy. And yeah, make sure you follow all my social medias. I'll leave everything down below in the description box. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. All right, so today we are back in the studio. I feel like it's literally been forever since I sat down and filmed a video or just sewed something. And it is currently the 22nd, the day after my 24th birthday. Your boy is finally 24. Like, what? Period. I'm really excited to see what this age brings. I feel like, you know, I'm ready to step into be more adult-like and feel like an adult and just carry myself as, you know, an adult would. So I'm really excited to see what that brings. But yeah, so today I'm finally going to be starting production on this handbag that I'm telling you is so insane. This is probably one of the most dopest designs that I've designed thus far. And I know actually producing this and putting it together is going to be a challenge, but I'm ready to do it. I feel like, you know, I'm pushing myself to try different things, do new things, you know, push the bar a little bit more and more as I go. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the design that I did for this one, and she eats. So this is the design that I'm going with for this bag, and she is gorgeous. Like I love this design so much. So I'm doing it almost looks black. It's a really dark blue denim. I like it because it does kind of look black, but I'm doing a really dark blue denim for the main body parts, and then all the accent pieces I'm going to do like red and like this burgundy color. And I'm doing this really cool flap design when it's going to be like a 3D type look effect on there, and I think it just looks so cool. I have not really done this design. Well, I actually have. I did one not too long ago, but like a 3D looking one. The first time that I tried one was the bag that I did for Doja Cat, and people ate me up online about that. They said the bag is terrible, it looks ugly. You know, it was my first time trying something like that, so it didn't come out perfect. But for the skill level that I had at the time, it came out pretty dope, I think. But yeah, so I'm gonna challenge myself to try it again for this piece. I did do a test piece right here, so I took the handle off, but this is what the test piece came out. Again, it's uninterfaced denim. All of my test pieces, I just use white cotton denim, and I don't interface it because it's just really to test the pattern. I'm doing like this nice heart closure on here, so it's gonna have a heart closure at my name and a riveting design. And for this one, this bag is inspired by, I don't know if you guys know Charlie XCX. You should. She dropped her new album Brat not too long ago, and she has this song on there called Everything is Romantic. And I was designing like a few weeks ago, and I was designing and the song just kept playing over and over in my head, like everything is romantic. I can't sing, but it just wouldn't get out of my head. And I was designing, and I was like, oh, this bag looks kind of like romantic-y, like romance. And I was like, oh, what if I did a bag inspired by that? So I started designing, and this bag design kind of gives me like a dark, romantic, like princessy, Cinderella, fantasy, romance vibe. I don't know, it's all of that in one. I think it's gonna be really cool. So I have all of my pieces already prepped and ready to go. I have been doing pre-production for so long. I'm telling you, I've been doing pre-production for probably like too long at this point. So I have all of my pieces. This is the heart right here. So I have a front piece and I have a back piece. I have to actually assemble that together, and I have all of my little overlaying pieces already hemmed up and stuff. So this is going to be the little flap design. So I have my front and back and body pieces. Everything is interfaced too. So this is the front piece. I have my snaps on already. So I made templates. If you know me, you know I love to make a good template. So I made templates, and I'm going to pretty much lay this on top, dot where the holes are, remove it, and use that to line up all the pieces. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and do all the templating for the overlaying pieces, and then I'm probably not gonna do too much today because it's been a while since I've done this, and every time I come back to work, it takes me a while to get in the groove, so I might not get too much done today. But the first thing I'm gonna do is start working on the overlaying pieces. So I really hope this project is smooth. I know it's gonna be difficult, but I'm ready to challenge myself. So I'm about to do the overlay pieces, and yeah, let's do that. All right, so I just went ahead and stuck down the first base layer of the overlaying pieces. And for this part, I broke it up in pieces because I've noticed that if I were to have left this one piece whole instead of breaking it up into two pieces, this one pattern piece, it would be really bulky underneath because I have to do another overlay on top of this. So I just kind of break it up to lessen the bulk, if that makes sense. So now that I have both of these, or these overlaying pieces on, which I just used some double-sided tape and liquid stitch to stick it down, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to top stitch along the edge of all of them, and I'm going to do a double stitch around all of the top stitching because I think it's going to give it a really nice thicker look, which I love. I've been doing it a lot on most of my recent bags, so that's what I'm about to do, and let's get into it. Okay, so it's the next day, and I went ahead and sewed on all of the well, not all of them, but majority of them for the front, the flap, and then we also have the back piece. And this is already looking the bomb. Like, this looks really freaking good. I also went ahead and added the last little snap because for this one, I'm gonna do 3 snaps. So I'm gonna have one down here, which is where the heart closure is gonna go. I don't have it on my desk, but this is where the heart's gonna be. And I have 2 that are gonna be here on the sides for the flap because I want the flap to be stuck down and the heart to be flat as well, because I want it to look, because okay, I feel like I'm mumbling my words, but honestly, if I don't have all of these snaps, it'll just look weird. The flap will look like it's not closed all the way, so I have these just to make sure it looks good and closed. I already kind of outlined where the little curve pieces are going to be, and last night before I finished, I went ahead and kind of already basted, not basted, but like stuck this both sides together because I hemmed, so it's 2 different pieces, and I hemmed both ends and then I stuck them together so that it's clean on both sides. And I used a little bit of double-sided tape and liquid stitch to go ahead and stick these down. So essentially what's going to happen is it's going to stick on here like this, and it's going to stick on here. Oh wait, wrong side. It's gonna stick on here like this for this side. Now, for hemming this, you know what, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later because my brain is a little bit of malfunction right now and I don't want to think about that right now. So the first thing that I'm going to do for today is I'm going to add the rivets in the corner because I'm going to do a nice riveted design on the corner protectors. I think it's going to be really cute. So I'm going to use brass hardware and I think I'm going to do 5 rivets on each side. So I'm going to do it for the front and the back. And yeah, I don't know how far apart I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna kind of eyeball it and measure them out. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll check back in and show you what we're gonna do next. So yeah, day 2, going smooth. I'm loving it. It's coming out pretty cool so far. So yeah, let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and attached the rivets to the front and the back, and it looks so freaking dope. This design so much. So this is the back, and then this is the front right here, and it almost is kind of giving me like a circus vibe. I've been getting like circus vibe from it. I cannot put my finger on what it is that's giving me that. I might figure it out a little bit later on, but it kind of reminds me of a circus. Now that the rivets are on here, I'm gonna set this to the side, and I'm going to actually sew up. I just showed these not too long ago. I'm going to top stitch these little overlay pieces, and it's going to attach the front and the back together. And I'm gonna do a double stitch on this. So essentially what I'm gonna do, I don't know if you guys seen my one video where I made the handbag and it had like the nice curved handle on it. I'm gonna pretty much do the same technique. So I'm gonna top stitch it, and then since I have to attach it to the actual flap, I'm gonna do one row, and then I am going to, I'll kind of show it a little as the video goes on to so it'll make more sense, but I'm gonna do one layer and I'll probably stitch from here to there, and then I don't know how to explain it, but you'll be able to see. I'm gonna go ahead, sew this up, and then I'm going to figure out how I'm going to attach this. And another thing too that I'm debating, which I think I'm gonna try a new way. I've been wanting to try the method of, instead of sewing the flap, you hem both of the front and the back of the flaps and then stick it and sew it together that way, instead of doing it right side to right side and then flipping it out. You hem it and then just pretty much put them together and then sew it. So I'm gonna try that because I feel like it'll be a little bit easier with this overlaying design, because I feel like it's gonna be too much trying to sew it this way, and yeah, it's absolutely gonna be too much. So I'm going to have to hem this. So I'll show that too when the time comes. But yeah, it's coming together really nice. I'm gonna sew these and then figure out how I'm gonna attach them and go through that process. So let's get into it. All right, so I went ahead and I did the double stitch on the bottom portion. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a difference. So this is the top part where I didn't do the double stitch, and then this is the bottom half where I did. So essentially why I did that is because, again, I kind of have the curve mapped out on here. Is it's only going to be attached, the curve of this is only going to be sewn down on the flap on the top part. So essentially, I'm gonna lay it down, and then I'm just going to stitch it down, and I'm going to stop where I started there, and it's gonna make it look like one consistent stitch all the way around, but it will only be attached at the top. And I'm gonna do the same on this side. I'm going to go all the way around, but stop here. So essentially, I'm just going to take some tape, stick it down, and then sew it, and then I'm going to try to hem this. I think that's going to be the best way to do this. And this has to be also basted down this way, which I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to bend this too much, but it'll be fine. So a lot of thinking. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start and kind of figure it out as I go. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm just gonna hope that this works. So let's do it. All right, so I went ahead and top stitched the top portion on, and it looks pretty good. And this is what it's looking like. I also went ahead and basted the bottom. I flipped it up and did a 1/8 inch baste. So now what I need to do, I also hammered the sides. I hammered this one a little bit too much. It started ripping, but it's fine because I'm hoping that it's gonna be in the seam allowance. So now I'm gonna flip it to this side and then do my marking so that I can hem the ends up. And I hope this isn't gonna be too difficult. We are going to see. So pray for me, please, pray, cause baby, I need this to work. So I'm gonna go ahead, do this, and then that's what I'm about to see, and then I'll check back in and let you know what's next. All right, so I went ahead and finished sewing up the flap, and holy, I honestly did not think that this was going to come out how I wanted it to, but it literally came out amazing. Like, can I get a round of applause, please? Like, this looks freaking amazing. Like, I can't, it's so amazing seeing something in your head, like designing something and seeing it in your head and actually being able to bring it to life. Like, this, I'm telling you, it's gonna be one of my best and craziest designs so far. So right now I have the curved pieces on and it looks super cool. This is what the front looks like. This is what the back looks like. Now, the only thing I will say that I don't, again, I kind of messed up was when I was hammering this. I hammered it too hard when I was trying to flatten it, and I accidentally ripped some of the fabric. But I don't think it's gonna be that bad of a, it's not that big of an issue, because I was debating if I wanted, the way that I want to do the handle, I want to try a new technique, and I was debating if I wanted to do it for this bag, and I'm going to do it anyway because that's how I'm going to cover this. So with the handle, I'm going to kind of fold the raw edges over the flap, and it's perfect because it's going to cover this part right here, which is literally perfect. It's going to cover that, and it's going to give the strap like a really nice clean look. Instead of me just riveting it on top, I'm going to have it fold over the edges, and it's going to look really cool. So I'm not too much worried about it because, again, it's going to get covered, but see, it looks amazing. So now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is, I have the heart with my logo on it. Again, it has the snap on the back, and I already went ahead last night and stuck it together. I did the same thing that I did for the curved pieces. I just took some liquid stitch and glue, I mean not liquid glue, I took some liquid stitch and tape and just kind of attached it together. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this together, and then I'm going to do the same thing that I pretty much did for this. I'm gonna figure out where I wanna start and stop my stitching, because only the top half of the heart is going to be attached to the flap, so only this portion up here. So it's really easy. This one's not going to be bad at all. So this project is honestly coming together really good so far. Like, I'm actually really shocked. It's been tricky, but it hasn't been like entirely too tricky to where I'm like, oh, what the fuck, I don't think I can do this. But it's been like little parts where I'm like, oh, this is difficult, but it's coming together really good. Like, this is going to be one of my best bag designs, and it's a lot of new techniques and things that I'm trying in this, making it really exciting, and I'm just so excited. I feel like I'm entering, I don't know, just being 24, new stuff. I just feel like I'm in a better place mentally and just trying a bunch of new stuff. I'm excited to see where this goes. I feel like I'm really gonna like just take it to another level. So yeah, I'm gonna attach this, stop rambling, so let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and sewed up the heart closure on here, and this looks freaking insane. Like, I literally can't believe this is coming out how I imagined it. Now, this looks freaking beautiful. So you have the little closure on here. So you open it up from there, of course, and then they can pull it up from that way. And then, of course, this is what the back looks like. It has the little stitching right there. Because again, I only stitched the top part of the heart down on here because it's towards the bottom of the flap. But this looks so good. I love this design, and I actually was able to achieve the 3D look of this curve really well. Like, it came out beautiful. I will say there is a little bit of puckering. I don't know if you can see, there's a minor puckering, which is not really puckering. It's just from when I hemmed the raw edges. It's the pieces that I folded back. But honestly, I don't think it bothers me that much. I feel like, I don't know if I'm gaslighting myself to say it gives it texture, or if I'm just like lying to myself and be like, oh, it's not that bad. But I'm trying to debate if I hate it or not. It's not, it don't bother me it doesn't bother me too bad. Now that this is on, it literally looks so amazing, and it lines up so beautifully. It definitely has like that dark romance vibe, and I don't really know what dark romance is, but it gives me like I don't know how to explain it, like it would almost be like a romantic fairy tale turned dark with like villains, like a villain fairy tale love story. You get what I mean? And not only that, but all of the stitching on here looks really good. I did the double stitching on all of the pieces, and it just looks so amazing. And then again, this is the back. So now I'm gonna stop ranting about the flap. So now that I have this complete, it is quite stiff, but honestly, I don't mind. I think it gives it a really nice quality feel. So I'm just gonna go ahead and attach it to the back. Now the back I designed it to kind of line up nicely. So as long as I get this centered perfectly, it should line up all the way. Sometimes when I have a design on the back, I have a hard time getting it to line up perfectly. I'm gonna try to do my best. So I'm gonna sew the flap on, and then after that, I'm gonna add the rivets to the flap stress areas, and probably gonna do the piping as well, because I'm gonna do piping around the border of the bag. I'm gonna do like the burgundy color because I feel like it'll tie it in, because I feel like there's more red than there is burgundy. So I think that having that burgundy piping is gonna look really good. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, sew the flap, do the piping, and then I'll probably check back in tomorrow because that's all I'm gonna do for today. So let's get going. All right, so it's the next day, and last night I went ahead and finished attaching the flap and then putting the piping on the front and the back piece. And I love the piping. Again, I feel like this burgundy color is really just gonna kind of tie everything in and make it look a little bit more cohesive. And I'm just loving it. It almost lines up perfectly. I don't know if you can see, it's a little off, but it's nothing too major. It's just typically how it is when I try to line up the flap. I get it really close, but not right on the mark, but it's honestly not that bad. And I'm just loving this so far. I also really love this shape. It took me a really long time getting the patterning right for the shape of this, because I kind of envisioned like a nice curvy, almost like a weird pumpkin shape. I just love the look of this. It kind of reminds me, this is probably why I get like a Cinderella fantasy princessy type vibe too, because it kind of reminds me of like the carriage that was it Cinderella when she rode in the carriage? I can't tell, but that's kind of what it gives me. So super cool. This is what it's looking like so far. And now what I need to do is I'm gonna work on the bottom support and the gusset. So next is essentially is gonna be sewing on the gusset. So I have this bottom support right here. I was debating if I wanted to do a burgundy or red color for the bottom. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do the denim because I think it'll just look weird if I just do like the red or burgundy on the bottom and it's not gonna have any other color anywhere else on the gusset. So I don't want to throw it off too much. So I'm just gonna do the plain denim, and I'm gonna do purse feet. I already have it marked out. I'm gonna use the brass hardware for that. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, sew the bottom support on, add the purse feet, and then sew the actual gusset to this front and back exterior. And I really hope that it's not too hard sewing the gusset on. We're gonna see, because this shape, it's a little, how do I take this off? It's curved at the top, which it shouldn't be bad because I've sewn a bunch of curves before, but I don't know if you can see it kind of curves in. So ooh, we're gonna see. So I'm gonna go ahead, start on the gusset, and that's what you're about to see. So let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and sewed the gusset onto the front and the back. And honestly, sewing the gusset on wasn't that bad. What I will say is that there is a really small opening at the top of the bag, just kind of to get in, and not really get in, like that's not my issue. It's going to be turning this whole project right side out. Because the way that I designed it, it's like you can see it curves up, so it gets smaller at the top, and the opening is really small. So I'm kind of nervous about that. Of course, I'm going to just block that off from my mind right now and worry about that when I have to actually worry about that. So I'm gonna set that to the side. Okay, now the next thing that I'm gonna start on is the lining. So let me grab the pieces for that. So for the lining, I'm doing a black and I'm using the waterproof canvas. Now I wanted to do a different color, maybe like a red or a burgundy, but I didn't have enough red and I don't have any burgundy. But I do have a lot of black, and I was also like, that might be a good idea because to do black so that the color from the inside doesn't distract from the design on the outside, because I don't want it to be too busy. So I'm gonna do the black, and then I'm gonna do a zipper pocket and a slip pocket on the inside. Now I hope that due to the small opening of the bag that it's not hard to get in and out of, and that you're also able to access the zipper pocket and the slip pocket. So we're gonna see. I hope it's not too bad, but for the zipper pocket, I'm going to do this simple red zipper. I'm sorry, it's not focusing, but I'm going to do a simple red zipper, and then I'm going to do a cream color stitching on the inside, which I think would look really cool with the outside and just kind of make it a little bit more cohesive, and it's going to match together really well. So yeah, I'm going to do the same thing that I normally do: zipper pocket, slip pocket. I'm going to do my interior tags, all that good stuff. If you do want to learn how to make your own name tags and stuff like that, I do have a video, a tutorial on how I make all my name tags. I'll link that down below if you want to watch that and learn. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, start on the lining with the zipper pocket and all that stuff, and then I'll check back in and show you what's next. Also, please ignore how progressively messy my background is getting. It's just, yeah, ignore that. All right, so it's the next day and I went ahead and sewed up the lining, and I did leave a hole bigger than usual in the bottom of the lining for this one so I can turn everything right side out, because I do know that this is going to be a harder piece to turn right side out and I want as much space as possible. So I left more of a bigger hole than I normally would, but sewing the lining together was simple, easy. I've done a gazillion of these and it's the same way: zipper pocket, slip pocket, sew it together, same thing. So now what I need to do is I need to attach the lining to the exterior. Now, I am very nervous for this part and for birthing the bag. I'm scared. Like, I feel like this is gonna be really difficult. This is one of the parts that I think is gonna be the hardest part of this project and process, but we gotta do it. So I'm gonna go ahead, sew the lining to the exterior, birth it, which, oh my gosh, if you don't know what birthing is, it's when you flip the whole bag right side out to like a little hole that you leave in the bottom of the lining, hence why it's called birthing. Yeah, I'm really hoping that it's not gonna be as bad as I think it is. I think it's gonna be pretty difficult, but we're gonna see. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll check back in and let you know what's next. So let's do that. All right, so I went ahead and sewed the lining to the exterior, and I had to cut the last clip short, and it might have been a little blurry because, oh my gosh, this was probably one of the hardest linings that I have to sew to an exterior in a while. And the reason being is that it's just odd. Like, it's just such an odd shape to sew, and especially on the flatbed. If I was using a cylinder arm, this would have been a breeze, but on the flatbed, it was so difficult. One of the hardest ones that I've done in a really long time. And I'm really hoping that turning this out is not going to be crazy. I feel like it is, just based on how hard it was top stitching it. And I'm not top stitching, sewing the lining to the exterior, and I hope top stitching it is not. Ooh, I'm getting stressed out already, but I'm about to go ahead and turn this out, and fingers crossed this is not too bad. So let's go ahead and get into that. Okay, so I got this out. This hole is actually a decent size, so I should have plenty of room to play with. I typically like to pull the flap out first. I'm gonna go ahead and hope this is not bad. All right, so I went ahead and, oh my gosh, so I went ahead, pulled the bag through, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty tricky turning the bag right side out through the lining, but it wasn't as bad as I thought that it was gonna be. So I went ahead, did that, top stitched it, and closed off the lining, and it really wasn't that bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot harder than what it really was, but I always do that. I always think it's gonna be harder than what it is. And I'm actually surprised though, because I really thought that this was gonna be like insanely difficult and I was almost gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But I also went ahead and gave it a good press and it looks so nice and clean. Like again, it really has that like fairy tale villain love story type of vibe to it. Like I really love it, and the shape of this is so insane. I love it so much. So now that this is pretty much set and ready to go, I have the handle right here. I haven't sewn it together or added the rivets on because again, I'm going to do a riveted design on top of the handle just because I think it'll kind of tie in really nicely and make it more cohesive with the riveting design on the corner protectors. And this is just so insane. Like, please, I'm going to just hold it right here because like, she's that girl, she's that girl, she's that like, I'm really so gagged at myself that I was really able to get this 3D look to work. Like, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and work on the handle. I'm gonna sew it up. I'm using the off-white color cream stitching. Again, like I said, because I did mess up a little bit, and when I was hammering this in to kind of flatten it out, it did kind of rip the fabric. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do a fold over handle look and rivet it down. So it's gonna cover that ripped, I don't know if it's focusing, it's gonna cover that ripped end right there, so it's gonna make it look cleaner. And I was debating if I wanted to do this, but since I did that and it ripped, I'm gonna have to do it just to cover it up because I don't want that look right there. It looks very tacky. So I'm kind of nervous to actually do that too because I do know that this is a really thick area to rivet through, especially when I'm gonna add more layers to it. So hopefully the rivet posts that I have are long enough to handle this. So we're gonna see. So I'm gonna go ahead, sew up the handle at the rivets and then attach that on, and then we'll be done with the Everything is Romantic bag. I don't know if that's what I want to call it yet though. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start on the handle. All right, so it's been about a week now since I finished up the bag, and I am so obsessed with this piece so much. I'm literally not exaggerating when I say this is my best work. Just from the design to the execution to just the stitching and the pattern, like everything about this bag for me is just like another raising of the bar. Like I'm gagged. And you want to know what's so crazy about it is that making this bag honestly wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. Like it had its challenging moments, but like overall for the most part it was not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be like crying, dropping tears throughout this whole project, but honestly it was really smooth. There were a few parts where I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but I just kept going and it came out beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like final shots and stuff and talk about the bag. So first of all, get into the 3D design on the flap. Like that eats so bad. I love it so much. It's such an eye capture. Like it's the first thing that your eyes kind of go to with this design. I also love that I did decide to add in the rivets for the corner protectors because I feel like that also just kind of spices it up and makes it look really cool. And let's not forget about the pattern alignment on this. Even though it's not much pattern alignment, just the striping from the front to the flap to the back and the fact that it lines up so beautiful. I love it so much. And I also really love that I went ahead and added rivets on the handle as well to kind of tie in with the rivets on the corner protector, because I feel like if I didn't add rivets on the handle, it would just look unbalanced design wise. So that was a really good thing to add on. And then the purse feet, you know, purse feet is always going to be a good touch, but again, I don't like putting purse feet on all my bags. So for this one, it came out beautiful. It looks amazing with the design. It was just very good for to put on this bag. Overall, I really just love this bag and design so much. Again, this is my best work, and I'm gonna go ahead and show the inside because I know for sure I'm not gonna be able to get no good shots because it's kind of hard to show, but um it's kind of hard to see on camera even right now, but it has the interior. It's black. It has the zipper pocket back here. As you can see, it's the red zipper, my name tag, and I also added the slip pocket on this side that you can fit some things in. And it just came out so good, like, and the quality feels amazing. And this is what the underside of the flap looks like. I already showed it throughout the video, but the quality on this feels so good. Like, I'm getting so good at this, and I'm really so shocked at how good I'm getting. Like, every new bag, it's like I'm learning something new. I'm trying a new technique, and it's just overall refining my skills as a bag maker, but also a designer. Like, it's just amazing. Like, this is insane, and I've never seen anything like this. The shape of this bag too is also what I really, really love. Like, it's just so unique thoroughly through, and I'm so happy with how this turned out. Now, if you're interested in purchasing this bag, well, depending on when you're watching this, it should be up and available, but it's going to be retailing for $885. It is pricey, but I'm telling you, this bag, worth it. Like, this bag is completely worth the price point. So it does include the shipping and the duster bag with the cost as well, and I love it. Now, again, this bag wasn't as difficult as I thought it was. I would rate this difficulty wise maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. I would say the patterning was the hardest part of this, getting the pattern made for this. Oh, it was so time consuming and a lot of trial and error, but I love it. It came out so good. So yeah, I would give it like about a 7.5 out of 10 difficulty wise. But yeah, this is the finished product of the bag. I thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified when I upload any of my new videos. Also, I have to plug myself real quick. If you are interested in any of the patterns that I do have available, I'll have them linked down below. I have one for a tote bag and a wallet. It's really simple. You buy it, download it, and I also have the tutorial over here on my channel as well for those. And then if you do want to shop any of my other bag designs that I do have my website linked down below as well, so you can check that out. And yeah, I really thank all of you guys for watching, and I thank everyone who, if you watch all the way through, you know, just watching, and everyone who's been subscribing lately. It's been such a blessing to be able to do this and grow on YouTube and just have all of this. It's a blessing. So I thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Deuces.